Welcome back to our second segment of the program this morning. A part of its 27th year anniversary activities, the Liberals Foundation will tomorrow hold a special hiking and tree planting event. The event is in a bid to fight against environmental degradation. It will commence from the Guma Dam, mile 13, around the peninsula, that stretch. So this morning, to discuss the activities for tomorrow, we've been joined by Mitchell Conteh, Squire, Orator, Liberals Foundation. Good morning.
Good morning.
And also, we've also been joined this morning by Fatmata Toure. Now, Fatmata is a dynamic Sierra Leonean entrepreneur and the visionary founder of My Lux Fashion Empire, a premier fashion house in Freetown. Under her leadership, the brand has become synonymous with bold, innovative designs that celebrate African heritage whilst embracing contemporary dressing and taste for fashion in Sierra Leone. Good morning and welcome.
Thank you. Good morning all.
Indeed, it's a pleasure. Let me start with you, Mitchell. Is this sort of activity an annual stuff, or it's just a one-off event? I mean, the tree planting aspect of it.
I understand you well. I think you're asking whether the tree planting process is an annual activity. Yes. I would say it's part of the 27th year anniversary celebration.
Okay.
Every year when Liberals celebrates, we have to have one strategic event towards national development that we are engaged in, and even personal development. For last year, we were engaged in health work, where we feel that people have to show healthiness within the state. This year, we also feel that the city is being challenged with water supply, but also addressing water supply, we have to go back to the foundation of what the cause of the water supply. And part of what we found out was that there has been encroachment on the catchment area of the reservoir. And until we protect that, we cannot be assured of continued water supply within the city. So it's a proactive step towards ending the suffering that is currently going on in the country or in the city.
How many trees have you considered to plant tomorrow?
Currently, as I speak, we have over 5,000 trees to be planted tomorrow. But I'm sure viewers would want to understand what is Liberals, where are we coming from, why this foundation is doing this activity. And
we'll get to that.
And I am sure they would now have to.
Which areas would you be planting the trees tomorrow?
We would be at Guma Dam at mile 13, that is the major reservoir for Freetown water supply. And if you look, the height of the water is drastically reduced. And the research has shown that the reason why that reduction has actually happened is as a result of the environmental degradation that have happened within and around that environment. And the direct sun rays to the water is actually affecting the water level, and that implication is being felt by citizens in the city. You can agree with me, when you go across the city, there are so many people with jerry cans piling up or lining up to get water at 2 a.m., 3 a.m., and it's affecting even school children. And we feel that that's a suffering that they should not go through. And if we are to solve that particular problem, we need to go back to the root cause, not only about filling the dam with water, which is not sustainable, or waiting for any periods. We need to protect the environment, because that was how and why that particular catchment area was chosen, because it was protected by trees.
And the trees that you would be planting tomorrow, what level of research did you put into arriving at the conclusion to determine which specific kind of trees could be planted at that location? Because from environmental conversations, what has come up as well is that you know, people do have good intentions to plant trees. And the question that comes up usually is, with all the trees that many organizations and individuals say they've planted, it's quite difficult for people to be able to see some of these trees. You've spoken about 5,000 trees. That's a lot of trees to be planted. But also the outcome for some of these is some of those trees planted died down because the right tree was planted at the wrong location. The research process to find out which specific kind of trees would work for that catchment area.
So one thing that liberals is benefiting from, and through liberals, the country itself is benefiting from, is a wide array of professionals that we have produced over the years. Talk about the best economists, they are Liberites. The best lawyers, they are Liberites. The best environmentalists, they are Liberites, you understand? And we have some of the best people who work within those sectors, and upon their advice, we have actually made the decision. In fact, to make the decision to go and plant trees around the catchment area was not overnight. You understand? It was a whole year strategic plan. It was part of the 27th year celebration strategic plan from June 8th of last year, which was our 26th year, up to now. So it has actually gone through the rigors of having the professionals put their best into it to understand what it actually means. And also, it's not only about planting the trees, it's also about managing the trees, the tree management. We definitely, that's why we're having close collaboration with Freetown City Council. They have the mechanism to manage these trees, how they grow, understand? So even after we have planted them, we will be partnering closely with them for them to be looking after the tree, for them to be managing the tree, at least for the result to be garnered at the end of the day. So yes, I would assure you that with the wide array of professionals that we have produced over the years as a foundation, we have had the specialists who have advised us to go through to this stage where we are.
The smile on your face is, you know, just you seem very pleased about, you know, especially when you talk about the wide array of professionals you've produced over the years. This planting of trees is a very laudable venture, and it goes beyond just your personal gratification. It would obviously benefit the entire population. So this would arouse curiosity to people who don't know, who are these liberals brothers embarking on this very selfless venture?
So before 1998, there were students at Phebian College who were leaders of the college who wanted to maximize the welfare of students at that material time. But also the critical thing that they wanted to achieve was to have an organization where everybody from everywhere can come together, map out strategies on how to maximize the welfare of students at that time. But also we think that this set of students and their ideas should not be left only on the cells of Phebian College. They have a moral responsibility to contribute towards the development of the state. That's why from 1998, June 8th, when Liberals was founded at Phebian College, we have monitored through the best of minds that have been produced from Phebian College and sent back to the city and the country, and have helped in the development of the state. This is like a leadership academy, an academy where people come to learn how to first and foremost deal with people, secondly, to help in the development of the state, thirdly, to create impact in their lives, livelihood, and statehood. And that has been evidenced by the set of individuals that have been produced and that have contributed towards the development of the state. But that is for their own professional capacities. As a foundation, when the country was at its lowest ebb, we came through to make contributions to ensure that we give in our own little way the contributions that the state need at that time. During Ebola, we were there. During COVID-19, we were there. During a mudslide, we were there. Even currently, when the country is faced with mpox, We started the sensitization process from Phebian College, which is our route. We are there. But we think that we cannot stop there. We don't need to be called out to make this little contribution. We feel that there is a threat ahead of us. That's why on this 27th anniversary, we think that before we reach that time where we would have no drop of water in the city, let's start targeting it now and make sure that people of the future generation will not continue to suffer as we are currently suffering.
Yes, thank you so much. We shall get back to you, the Jiffy.
With Liberals Foundation, Liberals does have a club at the Phebian College. One of the problems with college clubs, sessions and initiations have become so dangerous. At some point, it's led to the loss of lives, or it's led to disability in some people. For Liberals, understanding this as a problem, what are you doing differently to minimize these activities? Obviously, you cannot have a say in other clubs and what they do, but you can have a say in your own club and what you do.
I can speak for Liberals, and Liberals does not engage in anything life-threatening. That is it. So I will tell you that I don't know whether.
But the thing is,
I don't know whether
to those clubs that have had some of their initiates or members die during these sessions or initiations, it was not intended that that would be the outcome. But the level of violence exhibited during these sessions and initiations led to that situation.
I'm not sure I am in the position to speak for the clubs.
Exactly,
right?
That's why I said earlier you can speak for Liberals.
I'm not sure I'm in the position to speak for the clubs. I can speak for Liberals, and the assurance that I can give you is that Liberals is a leadership academy. We groom people to be leaders. We do not engage in anything life-threatening. Whatever inclination that may be out there, let me just categorically state that.
Do you ever get physical during initiations and sessions?
We don't initiate. Liberals don't initiate. All right? Liberals groom leaders.
Okay, so that process, since we're not using the right word, there are multiple words that can be used.
No, I already told you that Liberals does not engage in anything life-threatening.
That process of bringing new members, well, new people on board to transition from wanting to be members to becoming members, whatever choice of word you would use to describe that process, is there anything physical in that process?
No, we don't.
Nothing. Are you've
already asked me the question, and I've already answered.
So though you say it's not life-threatening, Michelle, I would categorically and emphatically tell you that Liberals, like many of those clubs at Phebian College, IPAM, wherever, they do have physical sessions where violence is involved.
I'm not here.
I'm not asking
No,
for
I'm not here to contend with your opinion. No, you cannot tell me. You cannot tell me if you're not.
Let's go back to the original question I asked. Being that such circumstances has led to loss of lives and disabilities in some instances. Again, I understand you cannot speak for the other clubs. You can only speak for Liberals. As a body, what have you done, or what modalities have you put in place to ensure that Liberals does not find itself in that situation?
So, Phebian, as the orator for Liberals Foundation, I think I cannot be here and allow certain information to pass which are not accurate. I do respect the opinions that you may have garnered, but the sad part is you are not a member of Liberals.
Which one isn't accurate?
I think I am better positioned to tell you that Liberals does not engage in anything physical, does not engage in anything life-threatening. What Liberals, the Liberals I know, I don't know which one you know, the Liberals I know and which I am a member of, I have been part of Liberals. You never beat people. I have been part of Liberals. You've asked me the question, allow me to answer. I've been part of Liberals. This is my 11th year.
You never beat people.
You've asked me the question, allow me to answer.
Were you beaten when you were joining?
I have never been engaged. Let me just state, allow me to answer the question. And this is for the records. I have never been engaged in anything physical. I was never engaged with anything physical. I have never witnessed any situation where anybody was life-threatening. I know the insinuations are out there, but between me and you, you are not a member, I am a member. I am better positioned to tell people out there. I respect the opinion that you may have, but it's not facts. It's not fact-based. If anybody is to say the facts here, it is Mitchell. It's not Phebian. So yes, to answer to your question.
So the response could be on record for future purposes. So yeah, we'll let you respond to it
for God's sake, apart from the fact that I am a Liberite, I'm also a lawyer. You understand? So I understand the implication of what I say. And this is to the best of my knowledge.
Were you
and
bitten
I repeat it again.
I'll ask again. Were you bitten? Was there any form of physical encounter when you joined now, when the year you were joining? Was there anything physical?
In what language do you want me to answer the question again? Because I already answered it. Let me repeat.
You answered generally. Now I'm asking you for your experience as an individual.
Let me repeat it again.
Did you encounter any physical
I don't want us to go too much into this. Let me just repeat it again. I'm going to be very specific. This is my 11th year joining Liberals. During my time of joining, I was never engaged physically. During my course of or my interaction with Liberals, I have never witnessed any situation where people were engaged with physically. And to the best of my knowledge, as I sit here, I am not sure anybody has been engaged with physically. This is Liberals Foundation, and this is our position.
Beyond just, Liberals now, the club itself, let's zoom the lens on the foundation. What have been some of your significant impacts to the contribution of the society or its membership generally? What would you proudly say this morning to highlight as some of the things you've contributed to nation building?
So our primary goal has always been to produce very good human resource for the country in terms of leadership, whether it's private sector, whether it's public sector, whether it's governance or whatever. And that is one thing we are proud of having currently in the country. I'll just take a few instances. The highest ranking member in governance, who is a Forabite, is a Liberite. The highest ranking member in diplomacy at the United Nations is a Liberite. The best civil society activist in this country currently is a Liberite. Best of legal practitioners are Liberites. Best of economists are Liberites. Even in journalism, if I ask you currently to tell me your model in journalism in Sierra Leone, within the top 3 names that you would call, one of them is a Liberite. It's highly possible that the first person you're going to call is the person I'm talking about. That is an evidence of producing quality material for state development. That is an evidence for producing fine gentlemen which the country and the world can be proud of. If we are talking about Sierra Leone being within the UN Security Council a day like today, that particular milestone was led by a Liberite. It is something we are proud of, and it is something the country is proud of. It is something you, Phebian, is proud of. This is where the visionaries of Liberals were looking forward to having. And very soon, we are sure that the best products of what the country is yearning to have, whether it's about the top leadership of the country, we are going to have Liberites manning the affairs of this country. I cannot tell you how soon, but one day, and that is exactly what the country is looking forward to. But again, beyond politics, even in private sector, you have Liberites that are excelling and that are helping towards development of the state. Just yesterday at the SL Tech Innovates, the best startup the best innovation startup company in the country, is owned by a Liberite. That is technology we are talking about. So not only about politics we talk about when we talk about liberals, not only about the diplomacy we are talking about when we talk about liberals. We are even talking about private sector, we are even talking about technology and innovation. No less an institution, but the Ministry of Communications and Technology gave that award yesterday. That is something we are proud of. That is something you are proud of. That is something the country is proud of. But also we feel that in the before the time comes when liberals would be 100% felt in the country, a lot of things may have gone wrong. And we don't need to wait until those things go wrong before we intervene. That's why we feel, for instance, where people are suffering currently with water, we feel that we need to protect the environment, the catchment area, where the water is being drying up. Okay. And for that reason, we feel that if we are targeting it now, that's going to be a sustainable development for the next 20, 30 years to come. On June 7th, on Saturday, it's an open event. You are invited. You are invited. It's two-pronged approach. We are going to have wellness, that is a hike. We're marching or we are walking from the Guma Gate to the dam. Back and forth is about 7 kilometers. If you self-nobody feel well, when you walk that long, you get for feel well.
Just
when
not
you
for
go
Mpox.
there,
Just not for Mpox.
Definitely, I told you earlier that as part of the things
no,
we are
you're saying if you were
doing.
not feeling well, you begin to feel well, just not for Mpox.
Well, I am sure the National Public Health Agency would help us with whether that can be one of the things we can deal with to deal with Mpox. So June 7th, on Saturday, tomorrow, you are invited. He's invited, she's invited. All of us are invited. It's an open event. We go there, we walk to the Guma Dam. Everybody's going to have trees to plant. We already have, as I speak, about 5,000 trees. We're intending to add more because we're also partnering with World Vision, Guma, Freetown City Council, to see whether we can reach up to 10,000 as long as something tangible is planted there. And it's not going to be a one-stop thing. All right? As long as the environment is protected, we are going to continue to do it. This is what we were made for, to help in the development of the state. This is what we are proud of, to help in making sure the country is protected. This is what I am sure you are proud of, to have liberals in Sierra Leone as part of its infrastructure.
Michelle, before I leave you, just wanted to ask a few personal questions. When you hear the death of young people in Sierra Leone, how do you feel personally?
I definitely feel bad. Okay. And I feel empathetic with the families. And I feel empathetic also for the state.
You consider that's a very huge loss?
It is.
When you heard about the death of one of our best designers in Sierra Leone, the young, may his soul rest in peace, Oni Williams, how did you feel?
I felt bad and I felt sad for both myself and the family. This is why I started schooling at the Sierra Leone Grammar School. And by the time I was leaving, that was the time Victor was entering Sierra Leone Grammar School. It tells you that I have a close relationship, at least by school, with him. By the time when I was leaving Phebian College, Victor was entering Phebian College. All right? And when I returned back to Phebian College as a lecturer, he was still a student there. All right? And I have admired his work. I have admired every little thing that he did. And with a close relationship by school, by university, by friendship, it's a heavy burden on even myself as a person who knew Victor. So I feel so sad about his death, and I continue to pray that the family and friends continue to find solace in the Lord whilst they try to pursue justice for him.
Finally, Michelle, a lot of allegations and counter-allegations being peddled around, regarding his death. But I would not wish to go into that now. I mean, given that you've told Phoebe that your organization is quite different and you do not use any form of force or violence to initiate people, would you publicly here denounce violence in all its forms and advise young people not to join clubs, or fraternities, if you like to call them that use, or subject their initiates through rigorous and dangerous physical, and excruciating, punishment just to become members?
I already stated for liberals that liberals does not engage in anything violent, does not engage in anything physical in the context that we are talking about. And I want to join words with you to encourage that if other institutions are engaged in that, let them try to take the high side of society and make sure that we rather protect our kind. All right? But also with regards to Victor's situation, I would say we have always wished, because we ourselves were on social media and things like that, and I've heard about these allegations before. We had always wished to address that, but let me just state that Victor was not a member of Liberals. All right, I don't want to get a step further into this because
did he have intentions to join? I didn't even go there, but since you have mentioned that he wasn't a member, I'm not sure I ever mentioned that the man was a member, in fact.
So he was not a member of Liberals.
Did he have intentions to join your club?
And I wish, Victor, can I answer your question?
Did the man have intentions to join? I didn't mention that. I mean, Victor was, a member, but you mentioned that in passing. I'm sure it was subconsciously though, but since you've said that, I'm obliged to ask whether the man had inclinations to join before he passed away.
Can we just answer? Can I just answer the question? Did he tender
any form of inclination to join a club before he died?
To our records, we do not have that. Okay. But also, if I continue to speak too deep into that, I am sure the matter is currently under investigation, and we don't want to prejudice any investigation.
It's fine.
As it is,
answer the question.
As it is, we do not have any records of that.
Okay.
And we have continued to say the family deserve justice.
Okay.
All right? But also every other accused deserve justice. Okay? I cannot speak to intentions.
Okay.
All right? I can speak to what we know. Okay? And both sides, either ways, justice needs to be served.
Right.
But justice in itself is one that should serve every other person. Right. So that Victor is accused to have taken Michelle's pen, that is as in Victor Jones, is accused to have taken Michelle's pen, and Phebian have not completed the investigation. Fatmata should not go about and say, well, now Victor Jones, now actually take him. Otherwise, whilst Fatmata may be trying to satisfy me, who is at pains, Fatmata is not showing justice to you because I've not given you an opportunity to clear your name. Right. Because it's obvious that Victor Jones may not have actually taken the pen. Okay. All right? So justice is both ways. So right. As I continue to say, let's allow the investigation to prove it. And wherever the evidence leads, let it show there, let it go there, and let's have justice for either side.
Thank you so much. It's a good thing you're a young man with conscience. I appreciate